Live action, y'all. Live action. What up? What up? Oh, you guys beat me on here. Natalie is on here. Oh, so is he a scam? We're starting like that? The question becomes, guys, for tonight is, do you know how to study? Do you know how? Do you really know how? Before you answer, let's get into it. Let's break it down tonight. Let's go, y'all. But stop making excuses. Stop whining. Stop, right? Get at it. No excuses. Just dominate. All right, guys. I'm glad to be with you guys again. We are live action. Kasim, what up? Always in the building. So tonight we're talking about the quintessential question to becoming a great student is, do you know how to study? And this is a question that I thought was important, was necessary for us to bring today, because I get these emails over and over and over and over again where people express such confusion about their ability to study and what it really takes to be successful. And the disconnect between those is huge and is horribly toxic to your guys' greatness, right? And I posted earlier on my Instagram today about what greatness is, and Simone Biles, oh, so incredible. But what we care about is your greatness today, okay, guys? So I'm Dr. Hunter Pinesett. I'm the Study Doc. I'm always here to bring you positivity, productivity, helping you be better students, be better pre-meds, and reach your goals. That's the whole objective, whole reason I'm here with you guys doing this live stream. So today we're talking about studying specifically. And the email I got from this student put it so clearly, the conversation that goes in your head that you don't even realize how crazy the conversation is. And one of the reasons I love doing coaching, we have group coaching in all my courses for my students, is that in group coaching, my coaching style is inquisitive, right? I ask lots of questions. Someone will ask me a question, I will answer with 5 questions. Why? Because I could tell you the answer, but if I just tell you the answer straight up and you didn't think of it on your own, then that doesn't mean I've necessarily changed your logic and your perspective and the way you think about things. And if you're going to change your actions, you must change your perspective. As one of my students said earlier, I think it was Kedra on Instagram, said that greatness is a mindset. And we don't recognize how powerful what we think and what we perceive and what we see affects the reality that we create with our actions. And so what we assess, what we view as who we are and what we need to be successful, that has huge, huge impacts on what you're going to do and what you're going to carry out to create success. And so I ask at all of my events, I go out and I do these keynotes, I do these workshops, and I say, hey, students, I'm here to teach you how to study. And before you roll your eyes and you go to sleep and it's just another presentation, I want to ask you a very important question. Do you know how to study? And when I ask that question, all these hands go up. Yeah, I know how to study. Oh, I'm a studier. I'm a great, incredible student. I know how to study. And then I look at them, as your mom does, right? As your dad does. Looks at you like, do you really know how to study? And when I put that really in there, right, it starts to feel like that trick question that your teacher's asking you in class. Like, are you sure you did your homework? Are you sure, right? Do you really know how to study? And all the hands drop, guys. And there's always like 1 or 2 people who leave their hands up. I proceed to bring them on stage and prove to everyone in the room that they don't know how to study for 20, 30 minutes to get the point home. But I asked this question. I put up this meme because this is the reality. Let's see here. Can you guys see it there? Michael Scott, The Office. Why is The Office such a funny comedy? The Office is all-time comedy because it's real life comedy. It takes the everyday, the things that we experience that we can relate to and turns them into comedy, because we see it on the screen and we see someone doing something that's stupid or insensitive, but it's, oh my gosh, I have a coworker who did that. Oh my gosh, I did that. And we see ourselves in it. And so when Michael Scott says, when they ask him, oh, did you know what to do? He's like, oh, I knew exactly what to do. But in a more real sense, I had no idea what to do. And when I first saw that episode, I laughed out loud, guys. I could not stop laughing. Why? Because this is what I experience with students, is I ask simple questions. Are you prepared to succeed? Do you know how to get into medical school? Do you know how to study? Do you think, oh, yeah, for sure. But just for clarification, blah, 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 right? And they start asking questions. So either you know or you don't know. It can't be you know and you don't know simultaneously. Those are two lines that do not intersect. They are parallel lines. You either know what you're doing or you don't. Do you guys understand what I'm saying right now? Imagine if you went to your doctor and you said, hey, do you know what you're doing when you do the surgery? Like today, I was right, I'm an anesthesiologist. Today, we're in surgery. Imagine if the patient's sitting there right before we go to surgery and they say, hey, do you know what you're doing today? And the surgeon's like, well, I do. I think I do. Like, Who would go to that surgeon? It'd be ridiculous. Like, what's that insurance company that did that commercial? Is it State Farm? And it's like, sometimes okay is not okay. What's the company? What's the company? Does anybody know? Allstate. Thank you. I appreciate that. Allstate, right? Sometimes okay is not okay. And when it comes to being a student, okay is not okay, not never. Not never. And I want to share with you guys this email that sparked us off today, because it was literally verbatim what I hear from you guys all the time, but it was just so perfectly pronounced. Here's a student. Dear Dr. P, my name is S, which I guess you already know that. Anyways, there are two reasons I know this sounds like excuses for me not wanting to watch the webinar, but trust me, I was probably the most excited student because I am a sophomore in high school. And this email was in response because I have a new study webinar. You guys can register in the box below, but I have a new study webinar coming up. Okay, so you can register in the box below, come learn how to study. It's 90 minutes with me talking about studying. But this student registered for the webinar and then was like, hey, I know I registered for the webinar, but this could sound like an excuse, but I was so excited for your webinar. And the student follows that line would say, first I have to say, I know I have absolutely no idea how to study. I have never in my life even been taught how to take notes. I think that is why I am so scared to go to college. So this student's a sophomore in high school. They message me and they say, I absolutely have no idea how to study. I've never been trained. I'm so scared to go to college. Okay. The email's pretty long, goes on and on and on and on. We get to the bottom of the email, and to make a long story longer, they say, look, to make a long story short, I've come to the conclusion that learning how to study isn't my problem. It's my motivation. I know I am smart. My report card has straight A's sitting on it right now. Sorry for bothering you. Thank you for reading if you did, and goodbye. Now, this is one student writing one email. Second sentence. First of all, I have absolutely no idea how to study. I have never in my life been taught how to take notes. I think that is why I'm scared to go to college. Final sentence. Look, to make a long story short, I've come to the conclusion that learning how to study isn't my problem. It's my motivation. I know I'm smart. I've got straight A's on my report card. Do you guys get what happened there? They literally led the email off saying, hey, I just signed up for your study webinar. And they signed up for the study webinar. Why? Because they know they don't know how to study. And they say, listen, I definitely don't know how to study. I don't know how to take notes. I don't know nothing. I'm scared to go to college. I'm scared, shaking my boots. And then the end of the email was saying, you know what? My problem isn't actually learning how to study, just motivation. I'm good. I got straight A's. Can those two things be true? Can we know how to study and at the same time have no idea how to study? Can the two ever exist in the same person? Kofi in the building. What up? Right? And Josh says, motivation without execution is nothing. I love that, Josh. And we're going to get there in a second. But we have to understand this logic, guys, because this is a narrative you guys tell yourselves. I can't tell you how many premeds come to me. Hey, Dr. Pinesett, I want to know how to get into medical school. I'm like, well, let me tell you. Well, I know how to get into medical school. I know how to get into medical school. I'm like, we just told me you didn't know. Well, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And it's like the two can't be exclusive. And for students, when we talk about why we're not successful, why we're not succeeding, why you're not getting the A's, why you're not getting into medical school, I know it seems complicated, but 9 times out of 10, it's because you're making excuses. You are making justifications for your comfort. Do you guys hear what I'm saying right now? How many of you guys, when push comes to shove and it's time to put that work in, when it's time to execute, you make excuses to come off the gas pedal? You justify why you aren't prepared on test day. Oh, this teacher is unfair. Oh, this test was unfair. Oh, this book was too long. Well, would the book have been that long if you would have started reading it before finals week? Or what? Right? If you don't understand what I'm saying right now, like the video, put guilty in the box like Kasim just did. Be truthful. Be honest. Because the first step, guys, you guys have heard my story. I was a terrible, no good student. But when I was that terrible, no good student, you know what I told myself? I'm doing all right. I'm getting by. I'm doing good, right? We tell ourselves those lies to make ourselves feel better, to make ourselves it's like when you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Hey, how does this outfit look? Oh, it looks amazing. And you're like, "Oh gosh. Oh gosh." And you know what's come back into fashion recently, which I think is ridiculous? Are like the gladiator style shoes and sandals. Have you seen these? It's like a sandal or a high heel, and then like they take the wrapping thing and it wraps all at their calf. And it's like a gladiator thing. And I'm like, those sandals look good on no one because they're literally like it's like an opportunity to create like pockets for extra meat to hang out of. I don't get the objective of that, right? But when they ask you how do I look, you say good. Why? Because you don't want to hurt their feelings. We do this all the time to ourselves. We don't want to hurt our own feelings. We don't want to admit, we don't want to acknowledge that we don't know something, because if we don't know something, oh no, shame on me. We have to be perfect. We have to be Instagram photoshopped. We can't have dimples on our booty. Some of y'all got dimples on your studying booty and you're photoshopping it. We got to be real. We got to be honest, right? All this stuff for healthy body image. Where's your healthy student image? Is what I'm talking about. Where are my healthy student images? Who wants to post a picture of their straight C's and be honest? No one ain't do that. I know a lot of C students, but I ain't never seen no straight C's posted to the gram. That's all I'm trying to say. Have you guys seen it? I haven't seen it. I may be missing it. Maybe I'm following the wrong people. But we don't show that, right? But then you get 1A on a quiz worth 10 points out of 1,000 in class. You're like, ooh, A plus, y'all, look at me balling out, student, straight to med school, and put the stethoscope on. Baller. I'm just joking. Everyone's straight A students, right? So, but it's the lies we tell ourselves to feel comfortable, y'all. And that comfort is a killer. Is a killer. Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma. Y'all know I'm a Lakers fan. Y'all know I'm a Lakers fan. And we had some Clippers fans on my study coaching last week. And the hurt in my heart, y'all, because my Lakers went out like chumps. But the reality is LA, baby, is sweet. As someone who lives in Southern California, it's amazing. And it breeds softness if you're not ready. It breeds softness if you're not ready. Kuzma dyed his hair blonde. Kuzma wearing scarves and stuff to the game. Kuzma, hit a 3 first. Can you please hit 1 3, then you can wear the scarf. Please don't hit the side of the backboard anymore. Some of y'all some Kyle Kuzmas. Kyle Kuzma, you a Kyle Kuzma of students. Trying to act like you LeBron, like you bringing it. You Kyle Kuzma, you about to get traded this offseason. John, I just emailed you back right before we started this. Check your email right now. Does that make sense to everybody? You get so comfortable and you don't recognize how that's sabotaging your ability to get great. Because Kyle Kuzma's 6'10", could shoot, could score, but has he progressed at all in his NBA career? And that's the separator from the Kobes, from the LeBrons, is they're elevating every single season. They come back sharper. And for you guys as students, what's happening is you're a 7-footer. I'm going back to basketball. Everybody's okay if I talk about basketball? What we don't recognize and why we justify the lies to ourselves and that we justify our current A's or our current grade situation as being acceptable is that we don't recognize that, yes, we're scoring 40 points a game, but you're 7 feet tall playing in the 8th grade where everyone else is under 5 feet tall. Now what happens when you get to the NBA, which is college academics for some of y'all, which is medical school for some of y'all, which is dental school for some of y'all, which is PA school for some of you guys, nursing school. What happens when you get to the NBA and everybody's 7 foot? And they're Luka Doncic 7 foot, dropping threes, posting you up, spin move. What happens to that 7-footer? You're not dropping 40 points a game. You're not. Why? Because the level of competition has ramped up. And what we fail to recognize is that getting A's at one level does not mean you know how to study. Does not mean you know how to study well. It does not mean you're proficient at the next level. And I go all the time and I talk to medical schools and medical students to help their students study in medical school. And they are just so confused and overwhelmed and what's happening. But they made it to medical school. They must know how to study. No, guys. At some point, your skill set, if you don't advance and really dive in and say, no, I need to know how to study better. I need to study, like, if you don't continue to advance, you're going to hit a level. And if you guys can Google right now, supply demand curve, I think it's the perfect example. Supply demand, right? As supply goes up, right? Demand is limited, it's fixed, all those things. For most of us, we live on that left quadrant early on in high school, maybe early on in college, where our supply of skills exceeds the demand that our classes place on us. Because in high school, our teachers give us beautiful study guides, right? They lead us to the answers in the way they write them, right? They're very lenient in how they grade us. And then we get to college and we say, oh, the professors don't care. Why? Because the professors don't walk you through everything. They don't make a study guide personalized for you, right? They don't give half the points as a take home assignment. And so you get to a point where it's more skill. And then you get to upper division and the curve is smaller, right? So now the teachers have to make the test harder. And so, boom, the demand for your skill set goes up even more. And if your supply isn't there, what happens? You get mollywopped. And then you get to medical school. And then, oh snap, now it's drinking through a fire hose. I've never drank through a fire hose before. I'm not equipped for this. And then you're mollywopped. You get washed away. And you wonder why. But that's the fallacy, guys. And so for all of you guys, you must recognize the reason do you know how to study is such a hard question to answer. It's twofold. One, because we allow ourselves to feel comfortable. But the second thing is it is hard to see the reality when sometimes our grades are lying to us and sometimes we have a short-term perspective of what is a lifetime of studentdom. And as someone who spent 12, 13-ish years in education beyond high school, at college, grad school, med school, residency, someone who spent over a decade in post-college education, I can tell you for a fact that at some point, you're going to reach a point where the demand for your skills, what classes ask of you, exceed your supply if you aren't working on your craft and becoming an efficient student. And the simplest way I can put this to you guys is how many of you guys right now, you get A's? Kudos to you, props to you, because getting A's is not easy at any level, right? It takes work, it takes discipline. So congrats on that. I'm not poo-pooing your A's. But how many of you guys get A's by the skin of your teeth? You're stressing, you're grinding every single freaking week. You always get right up to finals week. Oh, I got the A. And every single semester, you look back and you ask yourself, shoot, man, how can I don't know if I can do that again this semester. I'm exhausted. How many of you guys are there? My A students. If you currently, at your current level, are getting A's, but you have no free time, I appreciate that, Jonath being honest, right? Honesty is key here. If you guys understand, don't make Jonath be alone. Like this video or comment right now and let me know that you understand what I'm saying. Some of you guys, even if you're not that student, if you have a student, you know a student, you have a friend who gets A's, but they're in the library 24/7. They don't sleep. They're anxious all the time, right? What my career? That, if you're that way at your current level, thank you. Kenza being honest. Tequila 831 being honest, right? Rosanna being honest. Gregory being honest. Thank you. If you're that stressed out, if you're that pushed to the limit at your current level, what happens when you level up? Right? Magali says only sleep in 4 hours. Whew, that's rough existence. I'm impressed you can get by on 4 hours sleep. Okay? What happens when you go to that next level where you're already only sleeping 4 hours? Can you sleep 2 hours? Can you not sleep at all? Could you possibly study anymore? And as Sunny just said, right? Rosanna said it's panic time. As Sunny said, it's not sustainable. And so you aren't ready to get to that next level. And so what you always have to be looking at as people who succeed, and I'm a person, I can be honest with you guys, and be truthful, right? As I said in my post earlier, I'm greatness in the flesh. When you see this screen, right, this is greatness you're looking at. And it's greatness achieved. And the reason I always succeed at everything I try, maybe not in the first attempt, but I always eventually succeed, is that I'm always looking ahead around the corner like chess. What's the next play? What's the next move? What's the next demand that I have to meet? And I have to prepare myself to meet that demand. That's why I love anesthesia. Because anesthesia, right, I was in the OR today teaching a resident and a medical student, And I was explaining the medical school. He's like, yeah, so what do you like about anesthesia? I'm thinking about anesthesia. I'm like, oh, what I love about anesthesia is it's the preparation specialty. And I love preparing. I'm like a doomsday prepper when it comes to academics. I understood that my ultimate goal was not to get A's as a freshman, was not to get A's in high school, was not to get A's in college. My ultimate objective was to get A's in medical school, was to dominate medical school, was to become a super clinician at the clinical level. And so I had to prepare for that moment, that time, and learn how to study and dedicate myself. And as you guys may or may not know, every single day I study studying. I study learning. I study academic achievement every single day. And when I first started out, I would say, listen, 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. And then what happened was when I started studying it, I started becoming better as a student. And so getting better grades started happening, one, but then also I started getting those better grades more efficiently and easier. And so it became addictive for me to studying and learning, because every time I spent time studying that and getting better and really looking at and analyzing and breaking down what I was doing and how I could do it better, I was able to work less. I was able to be lazier. I was able to have more fun and still get the great grades. But if I hadn't taken that time to learn and to grow, I would never have gotten there. I would never be the greatness you see in front of you today. Yes, and I said mollywop. That's a word. It's in the dictionary most likely. Right? So I want all of you guys to understand, right? On this channel, you will find a ton of videos talking about different study strategies. If you're like, so someone just asked, what are some keys to be more efficient when it comes to studying? I literally, right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, okay, I'm at the study doc on YouTube, y'all. You better be on my YouTube channel, subscribed. In the description box below, I have a link for you to register. I'm having a webinar this week where I'm going to break down studying and how I became an unstoppable student. I was able to study 10 hours a week and dominate college, and how my students who are on here right now, you guys see them commenting, are crushing it using my same system. So you can register for the webinar, click on the box below and get that. But understand, before any of that crap, and I said the word crap, I apologize. We're live action. Okay? But can I say crap? Can you guys give me a thumbs up for crap? Now I've said it 5 times. Before you can learn study strategies and study skills and tactics and create effective study habits, greatness is a mindset, as someone said earlier today. You have to get your head wrapped around the fact that you don't actually know how to study. Because learning how to study and becoming a professional student, right, that takes work, that takes effort, that takes time. And if you can't acknowledge that you need help, that you need to change, that you need to be better, then why would you even put the work in, right? Like, why move? If I'm not in danger, why move? You have to acknowledge the danger that your career is in, the danger that your academics are in, before you'll be willing to work. Does that make sense to everybody? Because what I teach is not a no work process. I think people who tell you that you can get A's with no work day one are lying to you. Day 0, day 1 are lying to you. My system is incredible. It's foolproof. It's impenetrable, impregnable, like Mike Tyson would say. But it takes work. My students put work in to get great. But then once they get great, now they're able to come off that gas pedal and then they get to cruise into efficiency. But if people tell you, oh yeah, you can read 5,000 words a minute, no work, today, instantly, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. And that's the student who didn't even want to watch a webinar. It's a free webinar. Couldn't even watch the free webinar. I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to watch a webinar, but I'm not really going to watch a webinar. I was motivated, but I'm not really motivated, right? Trust me, I'm the most excited student ever, but I'm not going to attend the webinar, because in actuality, even though I thought when I signed up that I don't know how to study, in writing this email, I've realized now that I do know how to study all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, I don't even need your email, right? That is, right? And as Erica just said, asking for help doesn't mean you're weak. It's a sign of maturity. And I think that's where it comes from. Like I just talking about, like, cellulite on your booty, right? Dimples on your booty. Is that we live in this Instagram perfection society where people are scared to put in work, to be sweaty. Everyone's workout pictures, I'm like, where are the sweat beads? I know maybe I'm the only person who got sweat glands on this planet. I'm the only person, when I work out, I sweat. People on Instagram, there is no sweat. No sweat. I'm like, man, this is magical. What's going on? Nothing. No sweat. Sweat-free environment. It's okay, guys. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm not perfect. I'm not achieving like I want to achieve. You know what? I need help. I need somebody to pick me up, to help me out with this. It's okay to do that. And that was one of the first things I did. And I'm thankful to my mom when my college counselor told me, hey, you can never get into medical school. You never get A's. You're a terrible student. Go change your major. Get out of here. You're ridiculous. My mom, I called her, talked to her on the phone, and she told me, she's like, it can't be impossible because other students are doing it. Suck it up, swallow your pride, and go ask those students what they're doing. And when she said it, I was like angry. But then I was like, she right. Right? Oh, mom, how can you be so logical? Right? Like, it hurts to hear that, but it was the truth. So the first thing I did was I went to those students and said, hey, listen, you're so smart. I'm so stupid. Will you help me? My mom's on here right now saying so true. She remembers this. Right? Is literally, it's common sense. If they're getting A's and you're not, break down and ask them. And I went to all those smart students. This is the coolest thing, is that people who are succeeding love to show you their success. So if you go to those smart students and you ask them, hey, smart student, you're an A student. I'm a dummy. You see me. Tell me your smartness. They're going to give you all of their secrets. They will hold nothing back because to them, they're showing off. But what they don't realize is you're going to every single smart student in the class and you're getting all those smart strategies, all those smart tips, and you're putting them together. And the next thing you know, who's the smartest in the classroom, y'all? And I can tell you from being on both sides of it, being the dumb kid in the back and then being the A student heading off the curve, to being so great that when I walked into classrooms, guys, and there's a lot of things that feel great in this world. As a student, the best feeling in the world is walking in on test day and not only you knowing you got this in the bag, but when you see the look of pure fear / reverence in other students' eyes because they know, oh, that's Andre Pinesett. He sets the curve every time. Oh gosh. The look on that face is so sweet, guys. It's so sweet because it's like it's an abundance of confidence because not only do you feel it, but they feel it and everybody knows it. You the curve setter, baby. Test taker, money maker, as I say, right? Test taker, money maker, curve setter, all that stuff. That's the feeling you want, but you've got to first say, I don't know how to study. I'm not there, but I want to get there. And I'm willing to put the work in to get there. And if you can do that, and you can commit to it and put the work in, gosh darn it, y'all, there ain't no stoppings you. That's the truth. You cannot be stopped, y'all, if you set your mind to it, if you are not ashamed to show you are scarred, you are flawed, you are messed up, that you've been mollywopped, you've been ransacked. If you're able to say that to people and be honest, then you can start to make moves because then you'll feel a hunger. You're like, no, I ain't ready. I'm not where I'm at. That's why all these people who watch all these like day in the life videos of doctors, it's actually poison, y'all. And the reason it's poison is because you watch all those videos. You spend hours and hours watching day in the life videos. At the end of the day, you feel like that's you. You're living that life. You ain't living that life. You just wasted a day you need to study watching they life. Yeah. You ain't a doctor. You watch someone else live their dream, live your dream. You didn't put any action in today. Instead, you watch other people live their glamorous life. How does that help you? So what I'm telling you is stop watching other people live their lives. Stop watching other students succeed and start putting in work, putting in time, putting in effort, focusing on what you got to do to make that life you admire so much your everyday life. Because as someone who went from a life I hated, of feeling nervous and anxious all the gosh darn time, of hating to have to read out loud in class because I know I cannot read well, to someone who's made all their academic goals a reality, to someone who's made an incredible, insane, awesome life where literally I was the dumb kid and now I get paid money by universities to come in and teach students how not to be dummies. Yes! It's awesome. So if you want that life, y'all, it doesn't take nothing but a commitment and a mindset for it and a work ethic for it. But if you're not willing to work and you're lazy and you're hoping somebody's going to save you, it's like E40 says. Who saw that? Who's watching versus battles right now? All right, Too Short E40. That was the best battle so far. It's like, they want to be saved, right? You guys know that song by E40. I won't get explicit on here, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Captain Sava. You know what I'm talking about? No one knows Captain Sava. Nobody knows Captain Sava in this place? That's you guys' homework tonight. I want you to Google E40 Captain Sava. And I want you to listen to it. It's very important for you. Oh, you want to be saved? Ain't nobody going to save you. Put that work in. That's what's required, y'all. All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed this time with me, if you are starting to see things differently, take a second, y'all. Like the video. Like the video. Let the algorithm know. Dang, Dr. Pinesett be bringing it. Like the video. If this is your first time, hello, welcome. I like that. Captain Saba, do not study her. I love it. That's what it says. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. The radio version. I think that's what it says. Right? I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Pretty sure. But anyway, we're going to be back, guys. I'm back live. I'll be back live Friday morning. We're going to go live Friday morning. I'm not sure what time yet, but I'll post the link up here. So make sure you guys take a second. First time, subscribe. Turn on live notifications so you always know when I'm going live so you don't miss this stuff. You can come hang out, ask questions, get some empowerment, get some advice, get some guidance, and get better. Get better. So take the time, subscribe, turn on the live notifications. And if you guys are ready to take that next step, like I said, in the description box below my YouTube video here, I'll also put it on the podcast. I have a new webinar. Oh, it's so good. All about studying and how to study and how I made the transition from the dumb student to putting in the work to becoming the unstoppable student. So register for that below, guys. Check that out. And then get over to my website as always. What is the website, y'all? thestudydoc.com. thestudydoc.com, y'all. Get over there. Courses, coaching programs, bomb stuff, transformative stuff. That's all about changing your life radically. Not like, radical change, y'all. Radical change. I like how everybody now all of a sudden understands what E40 is. That's what I'm talking about. All my people came in. E40, right? All right. Everybody have a great night. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Dr. Pinesett, the Study Doc. How do we always end? How do we always end? No excuses. Just dominate, y'all. Go find a way to dominate and get better today. I'll see you guys next time. Later.